Welcome to the Warrior Gamer Headquarters podcast. Lieutenant Colonel Ken Crigliano, your co-host. All right.
Your eyes. Take a deep breath. Muse is now listening to your brain signals. Relax and let your mind flow naturally.
Oh, I forgot about today's podcast. I was meditating here. You just caught me off guard. So
Welcome back. Welcome. You were floating for a minute there, floating.
Yes. So have you seen or heard of this thing here?
That looks really cool. I have not seen that one.
So it's made by a company called Muse, M-U-S-E, choosemuse.com. And I have been using their technology for several years, and it's a brainwave monitor. So kind of put it on your head, almost like a sweatband or a hat, and it measures the brain waves that are coming out of different parts of your brain. And this one is really nice because it does pulse and.
Where'd you go? Oh no, I lost you. You're frozen for me. You were frozen for me for a minute.
All right, so I think my camera just died or whatever, but I am back. And so I've been using it for several years now. And what I use this for is to help gain the ability to control my mental state on demand, no matter what. So it tells me if my brain waves are changing, or if my facial movements, eye movements, and brain activity is at a heightened amount. So, plays like, I like the rainforest. It plays rainforest music if you are getting out of the zone, out of flow. And what I do in particular with this, which I think is really awesome, is I use this in lead up to major events in my life. So for me as an athlete, I'm going for a world championship next year. And so I will race the races in my mind almost every single day, but I'll use Muse, pop it on there to try to get directly focused in and not let my brain kind of go to I need to make a sandwich for lunch tomorrow kind of thing.
That is fantastic. I've heard of research that shows that visualization process does wonderful things for your body that even training matches. So it's like you've actually done the training in some cases.
That's right. There was actually a University of Chicago research experiment that broke the mold and ushered in thousands of other research experiments where they actually discovered that basketball players who shoot free throws in their brain were almost as effective as the guys and gals who were shooting them on the line. Like 1,000 throws, and now there has been research that has shown doing certain things in certain ways in your brain is actually better than doing them in person. And I can attest to that as well, because when you do it in person, you can get injured, you can overtrain, you can also train yourself to have the bad form. Whereas, in swimming, I'm a swimmer, I do triathlon. So swimming is unbelievably technique heavy. When I swim in my brain, I have perfect form. And when I go out and I actually swim, it's very difficult not to want to do what I was doing in my head.
That's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. We had a brain wave product called Emotive. I just popped it in the chat for you. My students were using it to move cars around a racetrack and race each other. But it has real uses too for research and for other things. It's a fantastic state of the world when you can claim that kind of technology to improve yourself personally. I think that's brilliant, and I'm so proud of you. You take every edge, Ken. There's every you leave no edge unturned for that peak performance. And I think one of the things that's really cool about, oh yeah, that's the site. One of the things that's really super cool about being able to actually see your brain waves and understand more what's going on inside your own head. It gives you a baseline, and it gives you really tangible ways to improve yourself. That's what our students were doing as they were working. They were racing more against themselves to be more connected and to move these little cars around the track faster with their thoughts. And again, your thoughts create your life, and to be able to see your thoughts on a graph on a screen and have your thoughts actually impact the physical world by like moving a car or doing, something like that. It was a really, really fun experience.
So April, which one did you guys have?
I bought two of them, actually. I bought the baseline one, and then I bought the high-end one, which is the other one with more channels. So,
32 channel.
Yeah, we bought that one, the Insights. But
Okay.
I found that one was, it took them a lot longer to train so that they could get the cars moving.
Huh.
And but once they got them, it was amazing. They just had to focus and keep their thoughts on, one simple word rather than speed. It was go. And, so they could stop, they could go, they could reverse.
So let me just, because I want to help folks as they listen and watch, kind of visualize what you're talking about. So in order for the car to go, they have this emotive headset on, and they actually have to think of the word go for it to go. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
No way.
Yes.
So is there there has to be some kind of baseline where you put it on, you think go, it measures that, it registers it as go, you think stop, and then it measures the difference between your baseline when you're doing the activity, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. So I could think bananas and it will go if okay.
That's where the training comes in. So each student trained it differently. Like one was, speed. The kid who did the best, his name was Theo. And his word, he trained speed. And speed in his mind he was really, really focused. I think I might have a picture of him doing this experiment. It was
see if you can pull it up.
Yeah, let me see. Let me jump in my I should have done this ahead of time.
So no, it's cool because a lot of times we don't plan. I don't think we plan really anything for any of these, but so I have a thought, which is I read this report that the whole cat 9 lives thing, right? We may have talked about this, but cats purr, and it was discovered that bone builds, the frequency of when the body is building bone is the same exact frequency as the cat's purring. And so that's why cats never they don't break bones, and they have all these 9 lives, whatever. And so I'm curious where you're going with this, because my whole chakra, I'm doing a lot of work with figuring out frequency chakras and all that. So very were you able to find it?
Oh, I'm still looking. I know.
Okay.
I have it.
So I'm curious is there a way, does it tell you what frequencies you're thinking as as you're thinking them?
Yes, they have so if you go back to the Emotive site, they have a video showing other people using it. And that shows, like, if you look at their display, that shows your frequency, that shows how steady you are at that frequency. And that shows, like, they've got some great charts if you look at the Emotive Pro.
So if I know that the root chakra is 396 hertz, and I want to try to resonate at 396 hertz, do you think that this headset would be able to help guide me to hit those frequencies or that frequency?
I bet it would. They've got, let me see if I can find this. They've got some really cool applications for these headsets that are very different than the normal run-of-the-mill experimental thing. So I think that'd be a fantastic thing to try. I've got the headsets.
I'm actually really curious because
we can try it.
Some folks on here may know, but I'm also part of NewCalm, which is Solace Life Sciences, which does down regulates the stress response. Only technology in the world that actually stops the stress response. And so there is one of the journeys in there is a chakra reset. And I didn't know anything about chakras. We're not really taught this in Western society.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved this track for some reason. And when I spoke with the team, they're like, no, yeah, that's the chakra reset. Like, you start getting pissed off during the course of the day or feel like things aren't just working out, like your chakras are out of alignment, hit this journey, 30-minute journey, and it'll reset. And then I started learning all about chakras, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if I can just like hum, these frequencies, or try to think these frequencies. And that brought me into the power of humming, which is some very, very interesting books on your ability to hum and why people hum in certain stressful or sicknesses or whatever. And the frequencies at which they naturally hum boost the immune system, down-regulate the stress responses, and they just happen to be at certain frequencies of the chakra. So it's very, very interesting stuff. And now we have science now to like kind of back up a lot of things that have been in ancient teachings,
Absolutely. That's fantastic. I know one of the things that Prince, again, the artist formerly known as Prince, he would hit, I think it's 432 hertz, a universal tone to resonate with that within his music. He had his differently as well.
432 hertz. Yep.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I put my kid, one of my kids can get really stressed. He's a very, very youngster, and almost every night I put on the 432 hertz piano that's tuned right at 432 hertz, and totally. And that's one of my favorite tracks too.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I found the picture, Ken. You ready?
Okay, can you share? Are you able to share?
Oh, it says host disabled sharing.
Yeah. I don't trust you guys.
I like throw anything up there on you, right?
All right, you should be good. Try it now.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. So this is can you see this?
It's popping. Yeah, there we go. Someone's smiling.
Fantastic. Yes. So you see what's on her head there?
Yeah.
So all the electrodes are connecting to different spots, and the car she's holding is the one that she was driving around the track.
Huh.
And it was really fantastic to watch them. This was an event that we did. Let's see, there's the track. I don't know if this will play.
So how did they turn? They have to think left turn?
They had that was Theo leaning in there. That's Chloe. So they had to think they were stopping the car too.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
Wow. So for folks who are listening in, first go to YouTube, watch this because it's pretty cool. But literally, this gal is getting this car to move on a track that is not
Yeah.
an easy, I mean, that's a 90-degree turn that thing just did.
Right. It's definitely not easy. And there's other videos if you go to YouTube and emotive. But really you can train your brain to give those instructions, and it's amazing how some kids were better than others at it. Theo was fantastic at it, but it just goes to show that, you know, you can train yourself into any state that will be helpful. And I know our audience is looking for ways to bring that calmness to them. Finding out that there's a violinist coming who is doing stress relief through hitting the right frequencies this year. So I think this work is becoming more mainstream now. It's not as oh, you're just woo woo wooey in the skies, April.
Yeah, I'm a super research ninja. I can find all kinds of things all over the place. It's what I do for a living. But like, I love the National Institutes of Health webpage. If people love to look up information, I know we say the word research, it's really not just kind of like Google searching, but if you want to find awesome information, that National Institutes of Health, you can just put in NIH, put it in Google. They have a search function there, and it is amazing. And I have found experiments and medical journal entries on all of this stuff, to include just recently, I found some where patients were given tuning forks at certain frequencies, and the tuning fork, I don't know if you guys, as anyone's ever seen this, but Google it. It has a little, an end on it, and it's two. It looks like a fork, but which only two ends, and literally you hit it, and it's built to resonate at a certain frequency, and then you can place it on something, like on a part of your body or whatever. And there were patients that experienced accelerated healing, number one. Two, stress response, like reduced stress response, measured, by the way, in blood tests.
Wow.
By the being administered these tuning forks tuned at certain frequencies. I mean, it's really cool. It's really cool stuff.
That's fantastic. There's so much about the side of the body that is electrical and that is water, and that can be impacted by this, by the waves, by sound, and by frequency, and by vibration. I think there's, especially with stress relief, that's I think there's so much work that can be done on that front, that that can put it in our own hands, bringing your state back down to even keel in your own hands before people go breaking windows and punching walls and all of that.
So if I'm a dude or a gal and I'm stressed, look, I've gambled all my money away. I owe people cash. I'm upside down on my mortgage. My spouse left me. My kids hate me. I mean, I don't really have a lot to look forward to, right? And I'm listening to this and I'm going, yeah, this is great, but really, like, how do I recover from all of that and have some kind of hope on the back end? You guys are telling me all this stuff, but really, like, hit me with the so what. If you had to respond to that, what is the so what?
I would say, I'm like you, I am constantly listening to teachers and really scouring the world for ancient wisdom and healing wisdom and things like that. And I think one of the things that is constant throughout all of the teachers is the request that you meditate, and not just, not, you don't have to be on a mountain high somewhere in the Himalayas. You really just have to, visualize the numbers. I think one method I was listening to last night was visualize the number 3. Visualize the number 3. Think about the top of your head. Think about your forehead. Think about your eyes. Think about your nose. Really practical advice that takes your mind off of the wife left and took both cats. It's like really, and that centers yourself in yourself, and really understanding that no matter what happened, you can only go from where you're at. There's no reason to beat yourself about what happened, because your power is in the now and your joy is in the future. So your whole entire job is to get to the future and not worry about, the mortgage will come once you relax, once you center yourself and allow the resources to come to you. Because I think so many people get so wound up and so tight, it's like they're curled up under a ball under a table, blocking all the help that's trying to get to them. And if they could go inside themselves and just YouTube is filled with meditation, but the simplest thing to do is just start counting backwards from 100. Think about the top of your head. Think about relaxing your forehead. No matter how relaxed you are, think about relaxing that area just a little bit more. No matter how relaxed your eyes are, think about relaxing them just a little bit more. And try to put your mind on your thoughts, your mind, everything, just on that process. And forgive yourself. That's the biggest thing I would tell that person in that state right now. Forgive yourself and let your blessings flow. And blessings don't mean that's not religious at all. I'm not a religious person. What I mean by that is that there are resources all around you. There are people who care about you that you don't even know. Like us, we've been giving our weekends and our days to do this to reach you. We care because we care about you. There are people you don't even know who actually care about you in that particular situation. And I would say just, feel worthy, because you are, because there's nothing that can make you not worthy. You are here, you're alive, and you have something to contribute that is uniquely your own. Your experiences have carved you into a person that is unlike anyone else on the world. And what you can contribute from this place where you're at is just vital to the whole. And you wouldn't get there without that pain. So don't be angry or embarrassed or upset by that pain. Think of that pain as just what you needed to go through to get to the next level. That's what I would tell them.
Well, that's good. And, I think we make a good team, because you add things that I don't even, I don't even think about. And, I get sometimes folks like, yeah, I hear the meditation stuff. I hear it, but there's no tangible outcomes. Like we're so tangibly oriented in society. And I think too, that people get themselves in trouble because they're so materially oriented, tangible oriented, that they're kind of still stuck in that mentality, and try to get them out. I've been not super successful at getting people to meditate, but I have gotten them sort of kind of like in the door with visualization. And the way I go about it, or maybe the way I went about it and the way I go about it with other folks, is there's always someone who has it worse than you, who would trade places with you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And that lifted me big time a couple times, when I don't even know where I read it, or heard it, which is there is someone in a hospital bed right now who would give everything that they own, everything, to be in your position, no matter how bad you think you have it. There's someone who would give everything to be where you're at. And it's like, oh shoot, like, okay. And then there are people who have it worse than you, but have more hope than you.
Yeah.
And there's always someone who has had it worse than you and is now happy because they did persist. And the way I tell people is you can't fix the thing that caused the thing to break, right? So the thing that is broke can't fix itself. So in order for you to step out of who you currently are that caused those issues is to visualize who you wish you were. And then your brain doesn't know the difference.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you start to act. It may take days or weeks, and sometimes it's the next day. So that's how I kind of hook people into tangible results, which is just picture tomorrow like you wake up and you feel great. Do that for 3 days. One of those days, you're going to wake up and feel, hey, you know what? Yeah, I don't feel too bad. And then that's a tangible. And they're like, well, this visualization thing actually works pretty well. And I don't know if that helps, but
I think that would have to help. The other thing that helps on that front is, and I can't remember which teacher, I've been listening to so many, I can't remember which said this, but they said, motivation will fail you, willpower will fail you, but your identity is always going to be there. So if you identify as like I'm a triathlete, that means you're going to do everything that's in line and in accordance to what triathletes do. If you are trying to change your state from being miserable because the wife left, the mortgage is upside down, I think another exercise that would be helpful is to separate your condition and the condition you just happen to be experiencing in this one given time from the core of who you truly are. So for many of our folks, they can say, I am a Marine. Even though this crap is happening around me, I still identify as a Marine. And we don't sit around and do this. We get up, we do this, we do that. So really, taking the time to write out your identity and what beliefs follow from having that identity. I think that's super helpful too. And you just keep telling it to yourself till you believe it. And you really are, you care. And then your momentum flows from that force. If they're so sad and so depressed, they have to force themselves to start. But once they start, that momentum will gather. And it's amazing to see that change. I'm around college kids a lot, and they're very volatile. They'll go from gleeful, this is the best time of my life, to, oh my God, I'm swelling in debt, I'm gonna die. And that roller coaster is where part of my job is coaching them through that and making sure that they, stay on course and still have fun.
Yeah, and you hit something huge, which is not only like there is a lot of truth to the fake it to make it thing, because your brain doesn't know the difference when you see yourself doing something. Your brain actually thinks like you're doing it. And that's a really simplified way, which is all the stuff fires as if you were actually doing it. All the electrical impulses down to your body. If you think of yourself running, there's literally electrical impulses going down to your legs, right? And there is a big thing that you said, which separates people who do amazing things, break records, they're in the flow, they're just super enthusiastic about life, and folks who are depressed, hopeless, whatever. And it is the faith that what I think I will become, and I just have to be patient. And one thing that I truly, truly, truly believe in, and I know this for a fact, is if I were to win a world championship next year, am I right now a world champion? Even though it hasn't happened. What's your answer?
I say yes, you are a champion. You have champion processes, you have champion thoughts, you have champion attitude. You are a champion right now. And all that is, everything else is just a matter of time. I always say, trust the timing of the universe.
That's right. So your reptilian brain, right, has no concept of time. So if something pisses you off today and then 5 years from now, your reptilian brain processes it as if it was like, it's the same time, right? Or if it's 13 times in a row, there's no difference. You could take advantage of that by thinking over and over again that you are, look, I'm going to pay off this mortgage, or I'm going to talk differently to my spouse, and visualizing it and visualizing it and role playing it. And even when you fail, to go, it's inevitable. I'm that person. It's just, I'm not acting like it right now, but I will eventually be that person. I will eventually act like that person, but today I am that person. So for me, I announced publicly a couple of days ago that I'm going for a world championship next year and trying to break some world records. Right now, I'm unable physically to do that, but it does not matter. In my head, I have already won that race, and now I just have to kind of do all the stuff that it takes to do it. And I do it every single day. That I visualize myself. I'm literally like buying the shirts. I'm creating like press releases, putting it around the house as if it's already happened. But those are the things that if you're in a rut, you need to leverage the tricks of the people who are doing awesome stuff, because it's the only way to do awesome stuff. And even awesome is like not yelling at your kids. That's awesome. Reducing
Absolutely.
that, being more present,
And
I think
not
you would
yelling at
agree.
yourself, not yelling at yourself, like stopping that rattle like you said, those thoughts are real. Thoughts are very real, and they last. So like could be, people who are suffering can relive the same mistake they made or the same injury they had, and finding the tools to get that rattle out of your head, that voice that is not serving you. That, I think, that is one of the most important things that we can encourage our folks who are going through this type of experience to do, to really honestly, every time that little voice comes up, visualize like a fly swatter. Like every time that says, I'm too poor for this mortgage, bam, slap it down and say, oh, this is the temporary situation. This is not who I am. I am a abundant and wealthy person. It's coming. And really just visualize that, bam, and slap the voice down, like literally. So like when you say like, I'm just gonna quit, this race is too hard, this is too far away, I'm gonna roll over and go to sleep. It's all 100% on I think on the person to say, I'm worth more than that. I'm keeping my word to myself today. I believe I can do this. And like you said, there's some folks in the hospital who lost both legs and are still out running. And there's just always something to motivate, whether it's internal or external, finding that one voice or finding that why. A lot of times I don't have kids, but people who have kids and who have grandkids are saying, their why for staying healthy and doing big things is to support their kids in the future when they're gone, and impress,
Right.
give them that hope and give them that encouragement to live by example, because they say words don't teach, but examples do. And like your kids will know, oh, dad's a world champion. Look at the wall.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I'm not like an egotistical or self-centered person. I don't think really much at all, but I do this stuff. And if you can't, if you're listening in, my background on Zoom is a wall full of medals and stuff that I've won over the course of years, and they're only the best. We had to throw away a bunch when we moved because we move a lot in the military, as you guys know, but these are only the ones that represent just total dedication. And every single one of these I can look at and go, yeah, like I trained for 6 months. I trained for 12 months for the Escape from Alcatraz race, and I remember all the visualizations I did and creating the custom workouts. And when I need to do something or I want to achieve something in life, is right now I'm trying to get us a new house, right? This is not a really good podcast studio. There's cars, drive trucks and everything. I would love to get my kids a yard. That's my number one focus right now. A yard, a recording studio, a nice little office, and I just see it every single day of my life. And like, I'm driven to do that. And one thing that you said too, which is so important, is to have that goal that you can lock into and go, okay, even if it's sounds so dumb that you don't want to tell anyone, like, I just want to like not eat those cookies tonight. Like, that would be a win.
Yes, absolutely.
There's 5. I'm just going to go for 3. And instead of going, oh, I had 3, go, hey, I didn't have those other 2. Because your brain will either be stressed or it will be pleased.
Yeah.
And so you always want to celebrate as little as a step it is. It's in the right direction, and you need to have a direction and an end state to, at least, even if you don't get there, you go somewhere else. You gotta have a compass to go somewhere, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And that's back to that's what the brain waves will do. They'll give you that high tech model that you can go after to really drop into theta, drop into those states that allow. And I think that's one thing that if we do, we find that we ask a lot, and then we wait, and then we ask some more, but we never do the allow part right, where we just expect it, like 100%, no doubt, expect that house is coming from somewhere. Not going to worry about where, not going to worry about how, just know that I'm going to worry about what. I'm going to go on Zillow and pick it out. I'm going to, I think that's one thing I actually drew my house, the one that I bought in 2012.
I've been doing that. Yep.
And I found the exact house. I couldn't believe it. It wasn't even on the market. Bobby Rush told me,
wow.
My sister-in-law, her neighbor just went into foreclosure, and she's got a house that sounds just like that. Here's her number. Go visit.
Holy cow, that's a great story.
My house is far beyond my means at the time, but it was amazing. And I absolutely love it. It's everything that I wanted. And I think I really do believe in that. I know it could sound touchy-feely, but I think that what happens when you just release it and expect it, and let your spirit team do its thing and bring you what you're asking for. That's what Deepak Chopra says. With the ask comes all of the resources and all of the things you need to make it real. And
that's right. I actually wrote that, and if people are watching, they irritated with me. I apologize, but I do take notes, show notes, so I can put them on the YouTube description. What things we talk about. But what I wrote, in there is, when you visualize yourself being or doing, right, your brain then starts to build the componentry to do it. In addition, I don't care where you are on the woo-woo scale, but the universe responds. And I am 100%. And even my wife, she's from Ohio, and she's a tough sell on a lot of things. And she's kind of like my test. Like, if I can get her to go, yeah, okay, that's not, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a hit. This is going to be a hit, because she really puts things through the test. And she is 100% like, yeah, if I think things, I believe that the universe is like, sometimes it takes a lot of time to put the components in place, but they're starting to move, and you just have to have the utmost faith that it's going to come, and just do not deviate, do not question. And the more intent and the more powerful and the more belief you have, the faster and more accurate, I think, the result.
Oh, absolutely. Can I share a poem with you that I shared with everyone? Oh, I'm on mute? Let me see. How did I get on mute? I think I'm can you not hear me? Oh, fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, we had an issue there. Tech issue.
So this is what I wanted to share with you. This is from one of my favorite poets. His name's Rumi. It's really short, but what he wrote, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, he's from Afghanistan, I think. He wrote, "When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, what I need flows to me and without pain. From this, I understand that what I want also wants me, is looking for me and attracting me. There's a great secret here for anyone who can grasp it." And that's by Rumi. Hundreds
That's
and hundreds
awesome.
of years ago. And I think one of the errors that we always make is, and another teacher always uses this example. It's like putting a train on one end going really fast when I want this, I want this, I want this, and then connecting a train with a big chain going the other way, going, but I can't afford it, but I don't this, but I don't that. And if you would just let go of all of those buts, but I don't deserve it, but other people need it more than me. If you let go all those buts and just go with, I want it, and keep your mind 100% on what you want and not on how you're going to get it and all of the details of that, it comes much, much faster and fluidly and with ease. And I think that's that's something that you have to just practice and just try it with something small. Try it with I want something really, really benign that you got no resistance against. Not like I want to win the lottery, but but like I want a fantastic meal, or I want to really make somebody's day, or I really want somebody to make my day.
Yeah, I love it. I love what you're saying. And, I tell people, and I told myself this, that if something's running after you, what do you do? Or something is chasing you, what do? You run like hell. You run. So if you're chasing after something, like, it's going to run away.
Oh, brilliant. Yes.
And when I really embraced that, I stopped running for chasing things. And it was when I was trying to find a wife, and I was getting older and I was getting all stressed out. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be old and decrepit when my kids are, the kid wants to play football with me or whatever it is. And finally when I realized that, I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait for it to come. And it was literally 2 or 3 days later.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, she showed up and I was like, well, let me just figure out what's going on here. And, when you sit and you expect something to come, that thing gets curious. I'm like, why isn't the thing chasing me? And it comes over and, wants to figure out what's going on. So I think that's some of the best advice. I think there was a lot of really good things that we hit on tonight that from way smarter people than us.
Yes.
But very interested in some feedback. And I would love, if you're listening to this and you're either throw up a BS flag, or you're like, no, legit, I used to say this was woo-woo, I've been trying it, I think it's awesome, come on the show. We'll have you as a guest, maybe 2 of you. Maybe we'll get a naysayer and a believer, and we'll go back and forth and see what we can do. But contact us, let us know how we can get you on the show, and we'd love to have you.
I think that's fantastic. And again, if you are stressed out, it's on you to get out of that state. Don't let it be. I know the Beatles wrote "Let It Be," but
yeah,
life
don't be a
is
victim.
Too short. Life is too short to claim that identity. Again, it goes all the way back to, who are you? What's your identity? Right now, I still identify as a martial artist. I've got 40 pounds to lose. But I still identify as a martial artist. So that lends itself to, giving me encouragement to do, the things that I started back when I was 9 years old. I think so. Identifying, who are you at your core? Who do you believe yourself to be? Take that first step. And then truly, when I say meditate, I don't mean sit for hours. I mean 10 minutes, 15 minutes, go through your body and put your attention on each spot, on the top of your head, on your forehead, on your eyes. Just straight down and relax. Do nothing more than that. We don't need to memorize any prayers. Just try to relax. And there is tangible benefit from relaxing. There's so many studies that say that. And there's tangible benefit from play too. That's where we started with this conversation.
Yeah, we did.
Finding yourself in the zone and finding yourself flowing like Michael Jordan did, and finding yourself in a rhythm that suits you. I think that's the goal to happiness. That's the whole goal. That's the whole purpose. That's why you're here. For everything that you're trying to do, for if you do want $1 billion, you want it because you want to be happy. If you do want that wife, you want it because you want to be happy. Everything boils down to because I want to be happy. So anything you can do that lets you relax and lets you embrace happiness, there's no downside to that. So especially it's free, it's easy, and I would just encourage people to, give it a shot, give it a week of just relax, 10 minutes when you wake up, just relax through each state of your body. Like, where are you at?
Yeah, I love that you said that too. I know we're dragging on a bit, but a friend of mine, no. I don't want to make these too long, but it's good stuff. A friend of mine, was going through some relationship troubles, and I was like, hey man, are you happy? And he's like, no, I'm not happy. I need someone, so I can be happy, and I want to create happiness. And I'm like, man, do you think that like he or she is out there thinking, I want someone unhappy so that I can make him happy? And he's like, no, I didn't think about that. And I'm like, so we covered like nothing wants to be chased because it's going to run. Nothing wants to be part of unhappiness. So you have to find some way to be internally happy for those other things to start getting that gravitational pull to you then, right? So that's basically kind of what you're saying.
Oh, so much. You have to be, as again, gotta be the change you want to see in the world. You have to be who you want to be with. You have to stand on your own and be happy. Like I've never wanted a partner because I've always enjoyed the freedom of roaming.
Yeah.
But I've always had a happy life, and I've always enjoyed all of my, all of the excursions and encounters. And I think, again, happy is the goal, whatever that means for you. Whether it means I'm playing video games 10 hours a day, if that makes you happy and you can afford to do it, happy is the goal. Happy is the, happy. And then at some point, once you're happy, you end up you find a way to serve. And I think that's what's really cool about happy people is just by example, you brighten up other people's day.
You are one of the happiest people I know. And my mom is up there. If she's not number one, I mean, she's super close, but every happy person I've ever met is a obsessed server. Like okay, how can I help? This person's, hey man, hey, I know we're supposed to do some stuff tonight, but I'm going to go over, Linda's house because she's just not feeling good right now. And they are just obsessed about like serving that. If it's got to be, it's got to be me. I got to go. And so there's got to be something there where, there's a chicken and egg situation where I do think giving back is a necessary step in becoming happy. And if you skip that step, I don't think you can really get real happiness. I think maybe joy, right? Maybe you can be happy, but you're not going to be joyful.
Right. So true.
That
works for
things.
Wealth too. I think that works for wealth. When you learn that you can give it away and you can support others and you can be there for a friend in need who calls you at Christmas and like help. Yeah. when you again, your identity. I identify as that person my friends can come to and go to for help because again, no kids, no responsibilities, really, it makes me an ideal helper, like you said.
Yeah. I have I have a lot of really, really good friends that would do a lot for me. But there are three that at one point I get a call, Ken, hey man. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow. Like next flight, I'm out. And like, I remember sleeping in a car just to make this like one happen. And I slept like an Airbnb in some guy's like, bathroom floor or whatever. I didn't care. I was like, this person needs me. And those three, like we have the deepest connection on just like, yeah, bro, like if you need an organ, like you got them, right? Like we would do anything for each other. And when we're together, like that energy of love and acceptance and like, man, I wish I could have like 100 of those because it's just so amazing. So if you're really struggling out there, really look at, are you making a concerted effort to make giving and serving like a huge foundation of your life? And have you done a couple big, super crazy, like awesome events that just, you're like, yeah, like I know what I'm capable of. Like I will drive across the country for my friend who got dumped, or or like one of my buddies, like building a company. Like I will go and I will buy all of this crap at these stores, your first stores that you put it in, pretend to be a customer, empty my bank accounts, so that maybe 10 years from now, like you launch a successful company, like real friends pay retail. So like those things, really look at if that's part of the material that you're made of. And if not, like totally like find ways to do that.
I agree so heartily. And again, it's to be loving and is not, it's a one person job. To be loving, that's where you start. And then you'll be surprised how many people love you back. So for that person who's by themselves and saying, oh gosh, or who does really want a family and it's not coming yet, again, I think your advice earlier was perfect. Just chill and work on you and work on being the person that you would want to invite into your life, and find that balance, find that joy. And it doesn't have to, you just need to love it. You can love video games, you can love you can love running, you just need to start where you can. You don't have to start with the love of your life. Start with something that you already do love, and acknowledge that and expand on that, and then keep expanding those feelings of appreciation for, I'm so excited I'm able to get up every morning and run. I'm so excited this challenge means so much to me. I'm so excited that understand what you're excited about and appreciate. And I think once you start doing that regularly on a daily basis, more and more, again, law of attraction, more and more things come to you just like that. And less of the victim stuff comes. Because once you start with the victim stuff, then the universe says, oh, victim, well, let's get that scammer in there to drain that bank account.
That's right. Their energies start to attract you, and oh man, I have so many examples of that too. So don't even go there. But so I want to thank folks for sticking with us. It's some really good stuff. If you know of anyone that could benefit or be entertained by this episode, please share it to them. You can find us at Warrior Gamer Foundation. You can Google us. We're also Warrior Gamer Headquarters Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, most, or if not all, the social media channels. Hopefully we're going to get there soon. We are growing, but please find us and let other people find us. And with that, April, unless you have anything else, we're gonna
happy holidays. Enjoy your break, whatever you're celebrating. I'm going for winter solstice this year myself.
Cool. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I know people probably listening to this on the 4th of July, like happy holidays. So
right.
We're getting this Arctic freeze thing, and I don't know, it's just whatever. Just snuggle some people. If you gotta shovel some snow out of people's yards, then do it. or just go to Florida and it's 80 degrees there. So
There we go.
all right. Warrior Gamer Headquarters podcast out.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Warrior Gamer Headquarters podcast out.